Okay, this is gonna be a lot less of a structured video, completely different to what I normally do. But I gotta rant about this. That's a horrible voice crack. Alright. So I was playing my favorite game, not really, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Windows computer, and I noticed something horrible. Okay, so this is Samus from Metroid, right? And what I noticed, I don't think the developers for this game have played Metroid. And you may be thinking, oh, Psycho, what are you talking about? Of course the developers have played Metroid. I think that's a lie, because let's take a look here. Let's just take a look. Okay, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they have played Metroid. If they have, that's even worse. Okay? So look here. First of all, moving as Samus in this game feels fine. Just like Metroid, right? This feels like I'm playing Metroid, and that's cool. Okay, now let's check out a few moves. Jab. Sure, whatever, it's fine, it works. It's pretty functional. Her tilts? What the fuck is this? She doesn't do this in Metroid, in case you haven't played it. This is very out of character, I feel. What's the kick? I feel like maybe like something to do with the arm cannon. That could work. She does that a lot, like in Dread and stuff. Right, that happens. My cat's here. Down tilt. Yeah, okay. No, she doesn't do that. When does this happen? Is this like shooting a missile like super close to a wall? Up tilt. This is just Captain Falcon. Her smash attacks. These two are completely random, unrelated moves. This one's acceptable. Okay. What about her mobility? Okay, let's use the Morph Ball. You know, one of the most iconic abilities in Metroid. Why can't Metroid crawl, Nintendo? Why can't Metroid crawl? There's no reason. Alright, what about, hi. Are you gonna, come here. Yeah, shut up. I'm complaining. Okay, so look, let's see here. Alright, what about her aerials, maybe? Let's see. Alright, Nair. Again, random kicks. Very un-Metroid-like. Whatever, who cares? It's an aerial. Forward air. More random explosions. Back air, just another kick. Sure. Up air. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What is that? Okay, what about her special moves? That's important, right? Side special is oh wait, that's neutral special. Side special, missiles, right? Regular homing missiles. I haven't played a lot of Metroid Prime, but I know that's a thing in Metroid Prime, homing missiles. But these were added to her moveset in Smash before that game came out. This is an original concept. This is ridiculous. This is preposterous. Okay, what about super missiles? Yeah, sure. That's a thing in Metroid. Why do they suck ass in this game? When do they kill? In Metroid, these are like your most powerful weapons. When do they kill? How about fucking never? Alright, let me hit you with my strongest, most, like, awesome, fully upgraded missile. Okay, wait a minute. Oh, shit. Barely kills. At 200. Now, I know it's a zoning tool. It shouldn't kill, but, like, it's the super missile. If you don't want it to kill, don't make it the fucking super missile. Okay, what about her down special? Oh, now I get to use the Morph Ball. Do I get to stay in it? No. I get to spam the ball, though, and it's a really annoying move in this game, and I hate it, and it's awful. At least I can bomb jump. That's cool. If this is cool, then we're scratching the bottom of the barrel here. Okay, what about charge shot? All right, let me charge my shot and run around. Let me charge my shot and run around with it while I'm charged. This isn't how it works, okay? In Metroid, you can't just do, no one ever stands still while charging their shot, okay? Now that's appropriately strong for a charge shot, but no one just stands still. Alright? Alright, what about just shooting it like, you know, Mega Man pellets? Like, this is ridiculous. Alright, what about up special? Right? Up special, screw attack, right? The strongest move in Metroid. Instantly kills every non-boss enemy in the game. Just like that, right? It's the thing you're building up to, right? It's pretty strong. You can combo into it. Like, that was bad, but you see it killed on Final Destination only at 100. That's the problem. It's screw attack. This is like the thing you do in Metroid, and it does nothing. All right, let's look. What about like dash attack? Okay, in Metroid, there's this super powerful move called the Shine Spark, right? You burst forward, lightning quick, and break through every wall and enemy in your way. Super awesome, really cool move. That's it. That's the whole move in Smash. That is it. All right, at 100, since nowhere, literally nowhere. It's just this isn't Metroid. Why can't Metroid crawl? Okay, what about like, I don't know, what about her taunts? Let's see her personality, right? Let's see her reflect, or let's see her, I don't know, do something, anything. Okay, what the fuck does that mean? What is this? What is this motion? Okay. Just like a guy at the gym flexing in the mirror. Alright, what about side taunt? What does that mean? Literally, what does this mean? She can't do that. If she could do that, why would she? That doesn't make any sense. Is she, like, flexing? Like, is she, like, saying, like, oh, look at me, I'm better than you? That doesn't make any sense. Alright, what about down taunt? Okay. It's fine. It's decent. You know, she's a bounty hunter. She's on the lookout. You know? But this posing is so fucking stiff. It's so lame. Don't even get me fucking started on her grab. Okay, so in Metroid, there's this ability called the grapple beam. And what you use it for is platforming. You can grapple on to grappleable blocks and swing like Tarzan across, right? Perfect for a grab, right? Because you can grab people with it. And her throws, serviceable. You know, it's just throws. This one's cool. I like that one. I like up throw especially. It's a very cool move. I'm a big fan. Now, tethering with this move is where I have the problem. See, if you use it as air, it's been a while since I've played Metroid. I don't remember doing that. Now, it's fine for gameplay. I accept that, alright? I have no problem with that. I have no qualms. Now, tethering is where I take the problem. I can snap onto the ledge. What happens if I try to pull a Metroid with it? Okay. What do you mean I can't grab onto the wall? Like in Metroid. Why can't I do that? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we've established, right, that Samus's moveset... Oh, down air. I forgot about down air. Down air. Alright, I love this move. I love all of Samus. Okay, let me get one thing straight. I love playing Samus, alright? I'm a big fan of playing as this character, you know? I like all the things she does, okay? I like this playstyle, right? One thing I don't like is the fact that it's on Samus. Okay? But let's just... What the fuck was I? Right, yeah. So we've established all her moves are just made up nonsense explosions, kicks, or just bastardizations of existing Samus Metroid moves, right? So we've established that. Okay. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe this is just a product of Samus being an old character, right? First added in Smash 64. Maybe this is just because she's old. You're wrong. And it gets worse. So, sorry, I have some mods on. Sorry. It's going to be a little inaccurate, but at least we're going to see base Dark Samus right here. Let's look at Dark Samus. She has some pretty cool things in Metroid Prime, as far as I know. Haven't played it. Really want to. Big fan. Like her sister Trophy in Smash 4. I'll play some footage of that right now. Just some awesome stuff. How much of that does she do in Smash? Nothing. She's literally exactly identical to Samus in every way. This feels like I'm playing as the fucking SAX. Which is funny, because that's not even in the fucking game. As a spirit or anything. Literally not in the game. One of the primary antagonists of Metroid Fusion is not in the game at all, in the slightest. But that's what Dark Samus feels like. Literally, just a clone of Samus. Literally, entirely, that's it. I know that's what, I know, don't even be fucking at me. I know that's what Dark Samus is, okay? But that's not what Dark Samus is. Why would Dark Samus do any of this? Alright, let's look at Dark Samus' taunts. Alright, how about that? This means nothing to me. She stands. It's like a fucking JoJo pose. That's spin. It's literally just a spin. This means nothing. Okay, well, what about Tauntaun? This is nothing. It's literally nothing. Okay, so we've established Dark Samus has nothing to do with Dark Samus. Cool. Awesome. Love to see it. Alright, what about Zero Suit? Now, Zero Suit is from a great Metroid game. Metroid Zero Mission. And I think she's probably maybe the best Metroid character in the game in terms of representation. You know, she's just nimble Samus, you know? She does nimble stuff, right? I don't play this character. You know, like, what does she do? Like, you know, this stuff? It's pretty cool, I guess. I love that move, right? I have no complaints, really. She's a pretty cool character. I like how she has the one thing she does in Zero Mission, aside from crawling, which she also does in Zero Mission. Yeah, they really, they didn't have much to go off of, and I think they did well. I think they adapted her well. Just, you know, a nimble, zero-suited Samus. It's cool. I like it. It's a good moveset. I'm satisfied. First time in a while, Smash devs. Great job. Okay. Now let's look at Ridley. Alright, so I don't have a problem with his size. I think he's perfectly fine. Because in the first Metroids, show screenshot of that, this is how he is compared to Samus. This is just correct. Right? Now if we're talking about Prime, right, he's huge. Okay, he's gigantic in that game. Okay? His moveset, I like it. It feels like an evil space dragon. His down air sucks ass, but that's irrelevant. You know, I love Ridley. He's actually one of my favorite characters to play in the game. I'm using a laggy ass controller right now, so, you know, it's not going that well, but I like Ridley. Very fun character. It feels pretty good. I don't know. It's a faithful adaptation of the character. It feels like Ridley. Especially like down smash. It's a pretty cool move. Up smash is very unique. I like the animation on that. I like skewer. It's very funny. Horrible move. Hilarious though. This one is awesome. So you reference the. He does that a lot in the Metroid Prime games. I'm pretty sure, but I always saw it as a reference to Subspace. His up special, just a standard recovery, you know, it's pretty cool. Now, his neutral special is the only reference to classic Metroid I could find. Yeah, he does that. In, like, every boss fight. He does that. The only thing I'd want out of him would be his down air to be like a little tail poke down. Kind of like, you know, in Metroid. But I do like Ridley. You know, he's very cool. I think pretty much everything he does is very Ridley. Very in character. I especially like dash attack. I like the bite. Right? And his taunts? I do like his taunts. So, up taunt. That's Ridley. It's the screeching evil dragon that I love. Right? Cool guy. Side taunt. That's just a cool pose. Right? You know, he's very cunning. He's very witty. You know? He's Ridley. He's evil. If you read the Metroid comics, he's a smart guy. And then his down taunt. So that's his down taunt. So I like Ridley. Really, the two biggest problems are in the two Sami. Now, is it just their movesets? Absolutely the fuck not. Let's look at their ults. Samus actually has pretty good ults. Fusion Suit. Classic, right? Needs to have that. Pink one? I don't actually know what it's referencing. Sorry. I'm pretty sure this one's from Prime. Correct me if I'm wrong. It could not be. Could be. I don't know. This is the Gravity Suit. Classic suit. Love the Gravity Suit. I couldn't tell you what this one is. I think it's just green, if I'm not mistaken. Light Suit from Metroid Prime. Amazing. I love this alt. Dark Suit from Metroid Prime. Now, Dark Samus, on the other hand, I have mods on, but let's just say I didn't. Dark Samus' ults are all ugly. I really do not like Dark Samus' ults at all. The mod is cool ones, but Dark Samus is bad alts in general. I think they're horrifically ugly. Now if we're looking at Zero Suit and Ridley, on the other hand, Zero Suit is pretty standard color swaps. And then the completion rewards from various Metroid games. I like these. These are very unique costumes. Good reference. I like the colors, blue and orange. Classic. Good. Very good. Good alts. Ridley. This Meta Ridley alt is phenomenal. Super Metroid box art, phenomenal. The blue one, I don't know what it's referencing. I don't know what the green one is referencing either. This one is his sprite in the first Metroid. Great alt, big fan. The yellow one is just sick. I'm not sure what it's referencing, but it's awesome. This one could be a Metroid reference, just to the character, Metroid. I don't know. And then this one, I don't remember what it's referencing, but it's also Meta Ridley, and that makes it cool by default. Point is, the Metroid characters have hit or miss alts. Right? Dark Samus is the really only terrible outlier. But the real problem with Metroid and Smash is the stages. God, I hate the stages in this game. Okay, so in the very first Smash game, Smash 64, it was one Metroid stage, and it was... I forget what it's called. I'll voice over later and add it in.
Planet Zebes.
And it was fine. You know, it's the location that the first Metroid game takes place in. You know? It's a pretty good pick. In my opinion. Right? And then, things get worse. Brinstar. Yeah, okay. The first stage was just this, but worse. So, I mean, it's just renamed and remodeled, basically. Sure, that's fine. Whatever. You just made the stage better. Whatever. Brinstar Depths. This is the same fucking place. I know it's a different location name, and it's... these are both locations in Metroid. Right? It's pretty cool, I guess. But then, there's Norfair, which is also a location in Metroid. Okay. That's 4 stages so far, just based on the first Metroid and Super Metroid. Frigid Orpheon, on the other hand, is Metroid Prime. Sure, it's the first boss, but it's still Metroid Prime. So then, in Smash 4, again, I'm blanking on the name, but it's the one from Metroid Other M.
It's called Pyrosphere.
And it has the Ridley boss. And that stage is awesome. I love that stage. But it's not in Ultimate. And that is every single stage from the Metroid series in Smash. All 6. And only 4 of them remain in Ultimate. And 3 of those 4 are from the first 3 technically. Metroid 2 doesn't count because none of the stages are from that game. But the 3 of these stages are just from Metroid and Super Metroid. And Frigid Orpheon is the only stage from Metroid Prime. Now, I think these are mostly fun stages. I think Brinstar is a great stage. I think Brinstar Depths is very fun. Norfair is whatever. And Frigid Orpheon is one of my favorite stages in the game. But the real problem here, and the real crux of this argument that I'm trying to make here, is... and this is my biggest issue out of everything in Smash. There is 0 Metroid Fusion representation in this fucking game. Let's go back to Samus's moveset real quick, just to generally talk about some changes I'd make before getting into the fusion stuff. Samus's charge beam, which is acceptable. The only problem, of course, being if you've played Metroid, you know that you really don't want to have charge beam. Because the ice beam is always preferable, and you're locked into using it late game because it's just better. But Samus doesn't have the ice beam in Smash for some reason. But the super missiles. In Metroid Fusion, Samus can't use the charge beam because she's been fused with a Metroid, if I remember correctly. It's been a while. And Metroids are weak to ice, so you have to install the ice ability into your ice missiles. And the ice missiles are missiles that freeze. It's a crazy concept, I know. But why not make Super Missile the regular version, and Ice Missile the Smash input version? I know it sounds broken, but here's how you do it. You make Super Missile a bit stronger, but also a bit slower to come out. And you make Ice Missile freeze, but send less far. So you have to choose between either freezing them to approach and rush down and grab them and get stuff, or you can choose to blast them away, which is easier, but might not kill too early. I don't want Super Missile to become the best kill move in the game. Just make it a little stronger than not at all, right? When was the last time you saw Super Missile kill? Okay. Now, I hate this move. First of all, it is incredibly annoying to fight against, because if you're playing against a competent Samus, I'm not one. If you're playing against a competent Samus, it can be next to impossible to get back to the stage when they have any amount of bombs up at all, and it is infinitely frustrating. Okay. And the only real solution to this, of course, is to remove it from the game. But that's not possible because it's so iconic to Samus. So instead, I propose make it more annoying. That sounds horrible. I know. But let Metroid crawl. Why can't Metroid crawl? Why can't Metroid crawl? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, hi. And then Shine Spark, of course, is awful in this game because that's not what it does. And that's annoying. And that's not all. There's also, of course, Screw Attack, which just pisses me off. And what I do to it, personally, is I'd make it one single hit, like in Metroid, and make it way stronger. Make it go diagonally forward exclusively instead of up a lot, and then it just stops suddenly. Like, you see that? Screw Attack constantly follows your jump. And weirdly enough, Samus's backward jump is the only animation that she has that actually even looks like her jump in Metroid. Because she kind of always jumps like this. You know? If you've played Metroid. Remember spinning in the air? And then when you get the Screw Attack, you're like, oh, that's why she spins in the air. Because she goes this trajectory all the time. And the Screw Attack just adds a hitbox. Just make it go a little less high, maybe higher than her jump, and hit one time instead of a shitload of times. Make it like a little stronger than F Smash, maybe. Which makes it really good for recovering. Uncharged F Smash, that is. Right? In between this and this, of course, because stronger than that would be ridiculous for an up special. And that's all I want. Ice Beam or Ice Missiles, a better Shine Spark, maybe Side Special. Maybe set her missiles to be like... I don't know. You know what, actually, I do know. Down Special should be Shine Spark, because that's how you, you know, use it in the game. You hit the down, and then you hit the button, and then you choose the direction, up or side, right? Or hell, even down if you're in the air. And then make her able to crawl, and press a button to lay a bomb. There you go, that's every Samus move. Just like that. Now, Dark Samus has way more problems that I can't get into right now, because that's just ridiculous. It still pisses me off. But the real problem is Metroid Fusion. The best Metroid game, don't at me, has no stages? None at all? That just... it baffles the mind. But yeah, that's just, I don't know. I just all I have to complain about. There's nothing. There's just nothing. And that's a real tragedy. It really is. And I don't know. Why don't I have the DLC? Fuck you guys. And yeah, that's really all I have to talk about. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm just Metroid deserves so much more. You know, people always talk about, oh, The Legend of Zelda is the worst represented series in Smash. That's probably true. Zelda representation is very lackluster in this game. All right, I will admit that. Samus, Metroid probably has it easier. All right. I will give you that much. you Zelda fans, you heathens. But I will say that I think Metroid does not have it much better. I mean, you guys complain about having 3 Links. We have 3 Samuses. Alright. How do you think that feels? Your Links are at least different people. I think. I mean, I know they're all the hero of time, you know. They're the same, like... I don't know. They have the same prophecy or whatever, but... Ignore that. But, you know, they're at least different forms. Dark Samus, I guess, is technically different, but it's just a... Oh my god, that's a sick combo. But it's just a different... It's a clone of this one. I up smashed. Fuck you. But... Our Samuses are practically identical. I mean, 2 of them have the exact same moveset. You guys at least have different movesets. Lucky. I think at least one of yours is a different art style. Don't even complain about Links to me ever again if you're gonna not complain about the Samuses. Okay, well, that's just my fault. I'm probably gonna lose this. Okay. But really all I have to know is, what do you think? Are you correct in thinking that Metroid has lackluster to terrible representation in this game, and you want to see more Metroid Fusion representation? You want to see the SAX as a spirit or an assist trophy? Well, then you're based. You want to see Psylocke as a playable character? You're based. You want to see Ravenbeak as a playable character? You're based. You want to see Samus get an overhaul based on Metroid Dread? Give her counterattack as like an aerial or something? Based. You want them to make Ridley bigger? Fuck you. God damn it. Don't parry my shit. Die. I'm gonna eat your parents again. Okay, so that's what I think about Metroid and Smash. Right? It's just... disappointing. Subscribe.